JustinFREAKIN is a formidable voice in the culture.
Hey Justin, are you trolling?
This is the Troll Patrol, live with JustinFREAKIN.
We got the Halloween decorations up now. My fire and my jack-o'-lantern's not working. There we go. Now it's on fire. Oh, I think yours are just carved a jack-o'-lantern, but I think she already sent it off. I can't have her bring it in here. Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking Sunday. DJ Dub, Flo, clinically, the news time is like exactly the time you want to have your dick out. That's what I thought. You perverts in my chat. We got stupid news. Like Curious are asking me if there was any good news. I'm like, nope. No good news at all. I've got Trump dancing. That could be fun. He's apparently really jealous of the NBA cheating scandal that's going on. Vladimir Putin is bragging about his missile tests. Voting going on currently in Argentina. Former French President Nicolas Sarkozy reported to prison. Meanwhile, Steve Bannon says Trump is going to get a third term. Kamala Harris says she ain't done yet. The ballroom is Trump's main priority. He's apparently canceled trade talks with Canada over an ad they're running. We're going to give you an update on the demolition of the East Wing. The shutdown continues. It's apparently going to threaten food stamps, worker pay on the 1st, as well as air traffic controllers. We've got a grounding going on in LA right now because they don't have enough air traffic controllers. Nicolas Maduro says the U.S. is fabricating the idea that they're sending drug boats into the U.S. The cat's over here doing wild shit. What are you doing? Come on, Smokey. Get up here. Everybody wants to see you. Come on. Smokey. Smokey. God damn it. Never cooperates when I want him to. Come on, Bubby. Come on. Come. God. Come on, bud. This fucking cat right now. Come here. He ran away from. He ran under the fucking. Talk to him. Tell him. Tell him what you just told me. Go on. Say it. Say what's on your mind. Oh, he's very pissed. He huffed at me. I let him go outside. I let him go into the courtyard. And he got completely upset. Wanted to come back in the house, ran right back in here into the room. I thought he was going to enjoy, because he seemed to enjoy it last time. Going out into the courtyard, just sniffing around, eating grass. Getting him some fresh air and some sun. Holiday left his dick at work. That could be an issue. Welcome in, Holiday. DJ Dub, did I tell you good evening? Welcome to everybody over on the YouTube. If there's any, hold on, let me open up the phone lines. If there's any of those right-wingers that want to call in, give me a piece of their mind. The number is 917-830-4359. Good evening, friend. Glad to see you. I've got several imbeciles in my comments on YouTube. One dude has been arguing with me, and like not even arguing really, just calling me names and shit for like 3, 4, 5 weeks now. Tones, welcome in, my friend. Just meaningless. Anyway, let's get the news out of the way so we can watch Halloween specials after the Troll Patrol, because this is what we really want to do. Trump was in Thailand? Was he in Cambodia? I don't know. Thailand and Cambodia apparently signed a peace agreement.
World needs leaders who promote peace strongly. And
the Malaysian Prime Minister apparently nominating Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize.
And to achieve that, you have to break some rules, as you did today. When President arrived, he asked me to join him in the car I said, that's against the security and protocol rules. And he was delighted to break the rules, and I...
A nice ride.
It was a nice ride. And we share a lot of things in common. I was in prison, but he almost got there.
Huh. He's saying that he likes to break the rules with Trump. Trump, meanwhile, is saying he could have been golfing, but instead went to this summit that was held in Malaysia.
And we're so honored to be involved in that. It was so important to me. Two great countries, but they were
Low energy Trump
they
here.
were going at it. I want to congratulate the two courageous leaders, and that's what they are. They were courageous. Who are taking this monumental step. Prime Minister Hun Manet and Prime Minister Newton.
Newton.
Prime Minister Anwar of Malaysia. I called him right at the beginning and I said, you know, you have two countries that are fighting right next to you. We need a third place. We need a sort of a neutral place, right? And he was there, and I said to him, you know, if we get this solved, I'm coming to your country.
Is that a threat?
The truth, didn't I? A lot of times they say that, and that's the last you ever see. But I felt I had an obligation to come because you were so great, and the two men alongside of you are so great. Historic figures now.
We need better dicks, indeed.
I felt it was an obligation I had. I told it to you. That was about a year ago, and all of this has taken place. It's been so beautiful to see.
I can't wait to have
It started,
your cock
and
in my mouth.
there was a lot
I'm
of
going
killing.
to give you the blowjob.
And then when we got it
life,
stopped very
then
quickly.
I want you inside of me.
This case, some we did in 32 years. Took 32 years to get them stopped. They were fighting for a long time. This was very nasty, but it was stopped very quickly before it started. And the two leaders have great respect for each other.
Very nasty.
But the Prime Minister played a very important role in helping convene the two sides for discussions here in Kuala Lumpur. Earlier this year, an armed clash broke out along the border of these two countries. Really ancient countries by most standards. They've been a long time, tremendous cultures, resulting in numerous deaths and thousands and thousands of people displaced from their homes. It was starting. Because of America's strong commitment to stability and peace in this region and every region where we can do it, my administration immediately began working to prevent the conflict from escalating. I held phone calls with both leaders. I was actually at Turnberry in Scotland when I did this.
At his golf course.
A lot of phone calls. The three of us and then the four of us. We had a lot of phone calls. It was a beautiful day. I remember how beautiful it was. Turnberry is a great place, but I said, this is much more important than playing a round of golf. So we sat there all day long making phone calls, and it was amazing the way it came together very quickly. I mean, really very quickly. You caused me very good entertainment. I could have had a lot of fun, but...
You caused me very good entertainment.
Anything having to do with almost anything, because you're saving people and saving countries.
Sports cards, welcome in. You asked me if I watched him dance. No, I have not watched him dance. Yet, we're going to do that right now. Curiouser. Tricks. That song sounds like the opening to like a 70s private investigator show or something. What's the song they're playing? Is it Hawaii? It is Hawaii 5-0 or something, isn't it? You're shitting me. That's really what they're playing, isn't it? Warlord, welcome in. That's what the people of Malaysia associate with the United States, the Hawaii 5-0 theme. Fucking wow. He truthed out earlier today. What's worse, the NBA players cheating at cards and probably much else, or the Democrats cheating on elections? The 2020 presidential election being rigged and stolen is a far bigger scandal. Look what happened to our country when a crooked moron became our president. We now know everything. I hope the DOJ pursues this with as much gusto as befitting the biggest scandal in all caps, in American history. If not, it will happen again, including the upcoming midterms. No mail-in or early voting. Yes to voter ID. Watch how totally dishonest the California prop vote is. Millions of ballots being shipped. Get smart, Republicans, before it's too late. Even Trump knows that right-wingers are morons. So the NBA players were cheating at cards? Is that what it was? I just know there's an NBA cheating scandal. I assume they were betting on themselves or something. Is that wrong? We have a cheating expert explaining how it's two NBA players that got caught.
New details of federal investigations into illegal gambling and betting scandals send shockwaves through the NBA. The FBI arrested 34 people in connection to two separate cases, including Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, who appeared in court yesterday. So one of the cases involves allegations of rigged, high-stakes poker games. Prosecutors allege the operation involves four of New York's most notorious organized crime families and used celebrities to lure victims known as fish.
What the victims, the fish, didn't know is that everybody else at the poker game, from the dealer to the players, were in on the scam.
I want to bring in Sal Piacente, president of Universal Game Protection Development. Also, I want to say that you're also known as casino consultant and cheating expert. You know a lot about people rigging poker games.
Sal Placenta.
Prosecutors say these poker games involve sophisticated technology. Let's start first things first, the glasses. How would someone use a pair of glasses to cheat?
Well, you look at a deck of cards like this, for example. You look at a deck like this.
Dougie, welcome in.
You can look at this deck as close as you want. You will not see any markings on these cards whatsoever. However, when I put these glasses on, which you see many
Well, you got a black light or something?
If I look at this card right here, that's a 6, that's a 2, that's a 5, that's a 10 value, that's a 7, that's a 2. So with these glasses, I can actually see the marks on the cards. Now, we tried this before. It worked on some videos, but sometimes it didn't. If you look through that filter,
yes,
you might be able to see the mark on that card.
Yep. Okay, I got you. There's so many other equipment things too. Okay, we got the glasses, a rigged shuffle machine, and scanning devices. Let's talk about that.
Okay, I don't have a rigged shuffle machine here.
Okay.
They go for 100,000 if you know a guy, which I do
The
know.
goat glasses.
Sure.
Of course he knows a guy.
However, what the machine does, it's a Deckmate 2. It's made by Light & Wonder, the biggest casino supplier. And the shuffle machine legitimately has a camera in it. And that camera films every card being dealt, and it knows what came out. And if there's a card missing, it knows exactly what card is missing. Also, at the end of the day, a casino employee could put a deck of cards into that machine, and that machine will put it back in order. Now, the cheaters found a way of putting that camera into the machine, and since it knows what's being dealt, they rigged the machine to be able to transmit to the players on the table who's going to win.
Wow. Okay, and you do this by a phone and also through an earpiece. Talk about that.
Correct. Well, first I'll show you this. Now, you can set this up. You look at this phone right here. It looks like a regular phone. If you put your SIM card in here, it's going to act like a regular phone. However, when I punch in a certain code, then it becomes a cheating phone. If I put this deck on the table, if I put the phone on the table, this deck is shuffled. We'll say 3 players because I have a small dealing space, but this phone will scan. It's telling me right now the third hand will win. So if I deal this hand out right now and you're sitting in seat 3.
No phones at the table. Problem solved.
Just the way the order is, the phone tells you. So, Sal,
I will make a phone call. You want to text somebody, you got to get up.
So a director can talk to me and my producer. This earpiece is pretty big, so someone would notice I've got something in my ear. So you must be talking about a really tiny earpiece.
A nano earpiece, correct.
Nano earpiece. What does that look like?
Here, this is an inductive loop. This is one around your neck, under your clothing, and it transmits to this earpiece right here. Now, I'm going to put it right here in my hand so you could see it.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, that looks like it's the earpiece. It's not. The earpiece is much smaller. That is the actual earpiece right here.
Look at that. You know, I guess I would, from an outsider, I would say, okay, so no phones on the table, no earpieces, no sunglasses. So are we talking about private gambling operations? Because back in the day, Sal, I'm going to admit, I was a blackjack dealer for a summer. They made us change our shuffle. They had pit bosses watching over our back. If someone was making a lot of money, they would give me a new deck of cards. So there were things in place that would kind of mix things up, right? So are we talking about private gaming facilities?
Both. Matter of fact, that earpiece, if you go to Google and you look up France poker scam, they just caught 2 poker players in France using the micro earpiece. And it said it had to be taken out with a magnet. If you go to a casino and play, you're getting your best chance of getting a legitimate game. Can you still be cheated? Absolutely. In poker, the only vested interest a casino has is the rake. As long as the casino gets the rake, they're happy. However, they don't want cheating because you never want the integrity in question. But when you get 2 players signaling to each other, you get 2 players switching cards,
sure,
you get players marking cards, you could be cheated in the casino. However, in a casino, you have surveillance watching, you have regulators, you got procedures, you got policies.
Yes, you do.
You go to into
remote control butt plug.
You're going into a lawless society. Anything.
Yeah, it's all free game there and tricks under the table, so to speak. Okay, before we go, like I was saying, I knew we had to have a special certain shuffle, okay? 3, right. Turn the top, turn the bottom, take the bottom card, put it on the top, this, that, and the other. And if you didn't, you'd be in trouble. Correct. Show me your shuffle, though. You're making it look like a shuffle, but it seems like you're not even shuffling.
It's the Harlem Shuffle.
This is a false shuffle.
Okay, show me that.
Let's suppose I wanted to, here, let's do a false shuffle for you.
Okay.
As you know, this is a strip. We'll do a riffle.
Yep.
We'll do a box, or sometimes you do that spin, correct?
Yep.
Do another riffle, and we'll do another strip.
It's coming back to me.
We got to do a clean cut, remember?
Yes.
Let's do it this way.
Or you have someone at the table cut it?
You could. Oh, there's two on the bottom. So these 4 aces is just a demonstration. I'll
Right.
keep them on top.
Okay.
Now, when I shuffle these cards, I'm going to make it look like this deck is being mixed, but it's not. And you can see
Like the troll with the glasses.
surveillance. You'll always see these top cards changing. So if you're zooming in on me, you're going to see the top cards always changing until I want to bring my cards out.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Legitimately shuffle. That's called a false shuffle.
Yes, it is.
That's been behind some big money scams in poker, and that's why they went to shuffle machines. However, the Chiefs found a way of rigging the shuffle machines.
Okay, one last question. So did someone then rat them out? Did someone on their team say, "Hey, I'm going to rat you out. I'm going to go," and let them in on the gig?
I got to be honest, I don't know any of the details of how that unfolded.
All right. Well, we'll stay tuned.
Well, you're
and
useless
thank you so much
then.
for your time. We learned a lot.
Thank you for having me.
We learned how to save our money. Okay. Appreciate
It's like the thing with the Counter-Strike. Probably shouldn't try to invest your money in that shit anyway. You guys don't know what that was. It's like some online marketplace where skins were going for absurd amounts of money. Valve, the company, like changed the mechanics of the marketplace and totally fucked a bunch of people over. Krell, welcome in. My fire in my jack-o'-lantern doesn't want to work. Russian President Vladimir Putin issuing a warning after a new nuclear-powered cruise missile test was a success.
The so-called modernity of our armed forces, or rather, our nuclear deterrent forces, is at the highest level. Well, I suppose one could say without any pretense that it's at a higher level than at least all nuclear-armed states. The test of the Burevestnik cruise missile, an unlimited-range nuclear...
He's got the camo on.
I know I have a report from industry, and the Ministry of Defense's assessments are generally known. This is, after all, a unique product, unlike any other in the world. And now the decisive tests have been completed.
Tell him, Putin. That was Russia's president. Let's go down to Argentina, where midterm elections are happening right now. And one Mr. Javier Milei, is facing a reckoning. I'm not high enough for this shit, so I ought to just turn this video on and come out there with you.
Now to Argentina, which is preparing to vote in a midterm election test on Sunday for President Javier Milei's radical free market experiment. Since taking office, he's cut spending and slashed inflation, but scandals and austerity have fueled discontent. And then there's the added complication of Milei's ally Donald Trump, who has tied US aid to Milei's success at the ballot box. DW's Alejandro Rebosio reports.
The self-proclaimed anarcho-capitalist Javier Milei came to power.
Well, she came in here. I didn't have to go out there.
Young people overwhelmingly backed him, making him an influential figure for the global far right. But 2 years later, some are disillusioned, like student Patricio Martin.
I really believed that this outsider was going to take down the establishment.
Milei drastically reduced almost all government spending, including for universities, which he cut by 30% at the expense of professors' salaries and infrastructure.
I thought the cuts would fall on the political elite, but instead he reduced the budget for us, the university students, the teachers, the retirees. The elite is still there, and he keeps serving the interests of the powerful people.
This Sunday, Argentina is holding the midterm elections. And
Dumbfounded dipshits, welcome in.
Punish Milei by voting for the left. Milei also cut aid for people with disabilities. Those cuts came as a scandal broke out. His administration was allegedly involved in taking bribes from makers of medicine for disabled people. Last Wednesday, people in Buenos Aires came out to protest.
He went beyond what he had proposed, and
we just talked about the gambling scandal.
Aren't coming in, which means professionals like us are not.
Just missed it.
That registry of electrodependence, which grants the right to free electricity, has already been cut by more than 35%.
First they attacked people with disabilities, saying we had fake pensions, and now they've taken away all our support staff, not paying them, and that's why we're protesting here today.
Political consultant Hernan Reyes notes that although some young people feel disillusioned with Milei, most still support him, although without the enthusiasm they once had.
Milei had two main mandates.
Frosting on the brownies?
To bring down inflation.
She's talking about putting frosting on brownies. She said she's got like Rocky Road ice cream. And she's talking about putting frosting on the brownies. And she's looking at me like I'm crazy. It's a stoner thing to do.
The other was to fight this political system. After the past year and several corruption cases, that fight has become highly questionable.
Milei reduced inflation from 160% to 32%, but unemployment has increased and wages have been reduced. At the University of Llanos in a suburb of Buenos Aires, some
Briggs
students
is jealous
support him despite the cuts to
I
their
guess
budget.
you're standing here with me and
I agree
he's
with
not.
the things he's doing, just not these budget.
You'd rather be standing here with me?
We can't go back. We've had the same thing for 20 years and it hasn't worked. We need to give something new a chance.
Of the 22 years preceding Milei, left-wing politics governed for 18 years. That same ideology now seeks to defeat Milei on Sunday.
The extreme pro-market and anti-state model led by Javier Milei in Argentina, which has been held up as an example in other parts of the world, is at stake this Sunday in his government's midterm election.
Let's get into this with Marcel.
That microphone was huge.
He's a political analyst and America's director for the risk consultancy Horizon Engage.
What brownies are you? Do you know what a brownie is? Brownies don't have frosting.
These are just midterm elections. Javier Milei will still be president regardless of the...
Well, in your world, they have...
described as sort of make or break for him. Just explain what's...
Brownies don't have... That's not a...
Hi, Phil. Thanks for having me.
I've never seen brownies with frosting.
It's not life or death, but it's a key test.
Okay.
Until now, Milei has run on two assumptions. One is that the public supported his economic reform adjustment program, symbolized by the famous chainsaw that he takes everywhere. The second assumption was that
talking about frosting on
brownies would be successful. Those two assumptions are up in the air.
I think you're the weirdo.
First one, because he arrives in the election with his lowest approval rating so far.
I think Javier Milei is the weirdo. Look at that fucking weirdo on the TV.
Two bailouts this year. One from the IMF and one from Donald Trump.
Right. So we'll take the politics second, because the economy, surely he's there arguing that, well, I have cut inflation, it's down dramatically, even though Argentines are still feeling the pain from austerity and a weak peso.
It is true. I mean, Argentines voted him to lower inflation.
Melted blue cheese brownies? That sounds horrible.
Down, the public turns the page and new demands emerge. Employment, for instance, which employment under Milei has increased
that
by
can't be a real thing.
And then the purchasing power of salaries. And salaries have been losing to inflation since Milei is president. So Milei ideologically believes that if you sort out the macroeconomic,
I love blue cheese,
like the fiscal deficit, then the rest sorts out by itself. Reality is proving to be a little bit more complex than that.
I can't focus on the economics of goddamn Argentina when you guys are talking about fucking brownies. They have frosting on them. Okay, This is brownies. You see they have that? Okay, this has like some sort of swirl shit, like a mint drizzle on it. Is that what you're talking about? These are like marble swirl. That's just the top of the brownie. Okay, this one's got some chocolate drizzled on it. Okay, this is some kind of like mint topping. I would love it if you glazed my brownies, Leftist Corporation. Welcome in, my friend. Frosted. Well, I wanted to show that this is brownie in its normal state, that I didn't specifically look up frosted brownies. Let's see what frosted brownies look like. That is literally frosting on top of brownies. These have sprinkles. Wait a minute, is Crix aware of who you are, Leftist Corporation? Okay, you sell those at your store with like the frosting on top of them like that. You're very aware, okay. I had my suspicions, but I wasn't at first. I wasn't aware at first. Over in France, they had a former president by the name of Nicolas Sarkozy. A Sarkozy is one of those things that you put your beverage in that keeps it warm or cold. They sent him to prison this past week.
It must be so weird for Nicolas Sarkozy, the guy who was once the most powerful man in France, to suddenly find himself living here. Or at least a room like this. He'll have a bed, a desk, a window with bars, a small fridge he can rent. This is solitary confinement, 23 hours a day.
That is a U.S. dorm room. That prisoners would love to have a room that looked like that.
Figure about 100 square feet in all. If the former French president is willing to spend a few euros a month, he could also rent a small TV. He could stock his fridge from the canteen and cook on a tiny stove, do his dishes, shower, use the bathroom, even make phone calls to certain prearranged numbers. Which all seems to roughly match this 3D mock-up published by Le Parisien, which is a major French daily newspaper. All of which to say, this is what prison looks like when you're a former world leader in an isolation wing for his own protection against other inmates. But let's rewind. Sarkozy's last breaths of free air before submitting to solitary. The entire area near the prison cordoned off by police, Sarkozy walking hand in hand with his wife, going to prison for an as yet
welcome in.
amount of time and still presumed innocent. How does a former French president wind up behind bars under these circumstances? I'll explain.
This scanned document suggests the former Libyan leader, Muammar Gaddafi, bankrolled the Sarkozy campaign to the tune of $66 million.
Gaddafi did it!
Denied accusations on live TV that he received money from deposed Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi.
The central charge against Nicolas Sarkozy, the one that's landed him in prison,
that man was sodomized to death.
Conspired to accept millions of dollars from
by his own people
in a scheme to finance his presidential election campaign in 2007. A favor he would return by rehabilitating the image of Muammar Gaddafi and Libya on the world stage.
And so this is a really murky story of campaign financing, of dirty deeds and involvement with a parade.
This dude looks like he has got to go be the lead singer of a rockabilly band at like a Halloween Elvis get-up thing.
By a state. And it seems to really have been about trading influence.
The Gaddafi story is incredibly interesting.
Campaign funds off the books.
Nicolas Sarkozy
est élu nouveau président de la République.
Sarkozy did go on to win the presidential election in 2007, beginning his first and only 5-year term, as well as a fairly rocky relationship with a new friend. It began on a high. In 2007, Sarkozy would do exactly what prosecutors suggested his campaign promised he would do, which is to welcome Gaddafi into the Western fold, or, as prosecutors would later put it, to create the circumstances for an act of corruption.
Libertad. Yes. Anything forcibly inserted into the anal cavity is indeed sodomy. Glad we could clarify that one.
At the highest level.
Certainly Gaddafi is not going to be leaving here empty-handed. French military jets, even a contract to build a...
Hold on. Technically, I think sodomy means any kind of unnatural act. Some people have referred to like gay sex as sodomy. Yeah, I need to go back. I was thinking the definition of rape. So sodomy actually has a more broad definition than that. Hold on. God damn it. Progressive Squirrel, welcome in. Let's go to Cornell Law. Sodomy refers to anal or oral intercourse. As explained in Bass v. State, sodomy is defined as any sexual act involving the sex organs of one person and the mouth or anus of another. Traditionally, sodomy has been referred to as a crime against nature by various courts and statutes. Under common law, sodomy mainly consisted of anal sex. However, in the U.S., the term eventually included oral sex as well as anal sex. As recently as 1960, sodomy was considered illegal for everyone in the United States, but the law banning sodomy was often enforced only against homosexuals.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
So yes, a flagpole up the ass would indeed be sodomy. It would be rape. And in Gaddafi's case, I'm pretty sure that's what killed him.
French nuclear reactor for electrical purposes in Libya.
Sarkozy and Gaddafi would sign deals worth billions of euros. France really leading the charge to help Libya reintegrate into the broader economic order.
So drew them in from the wilderness. And of course, it put him on the world stage. It meant that he was, pictured on the steps of the Elysee Palace, visited Versailles, he was treated to a state dinner, all of these things that become part of the pomp and ceremony of international diplomacy. That's a sort of laundering of the reputation.
But this partnership would not last. At the risk
that was just a couple years later, too.
It was never going to be easy for Libya and the West to suddenly lock arms. If the high point...
I kind of like Gaddafi.
France and Libya was 2007.
But he was also fucking crazy.
Was just a few years later, in late 2010, early 2011, when Arab Spring pro-democracy protests swept the region.
Muammar Gaddafi, the leader who ruled Libya for 4 decades by crushing the opposition, could himself be crushed by a popular uprising.
In the eastern city of Benghazi, calls for Muammar Gaddafi to be brought to justice.
Perhaps seeing trouble ahead, Sarkozy would turn on Gaddafi, eventually becoming one of the first Western leaders to push effectively for Gaddafi's ouster in March 2011.
NATO airstrikes.
Look how hot he was when
the
he was
Libyan
younger.
President's compound, reportedly killing 3 civilians and wounding dozens more.
President Nicolas Sarkozy spearheaded the West's military intervention during the conflict to oust Colonel Muammar.
He was a populist leader and he raised education standards.
His Western relationships to tear. at the seams.
But he was also a fucking murderous madman.
And convinced that in the wake of the Arab Spring, people were plotting against him, that he had not been given the fucking treatment that he thought he deserved.
I didn't see the poll.
Maybe one of the reasons we can look to this sort of settling of scores and unleashing all these old secrets from the past.
I didn't get a chance to vote.
It was between this period of Western pressure on Libya and Gaddafi's ultimate capture and death at the hands of NATO-backed rebels in Libya, Gaddafi would turn on Sarkozy. It's thanks to us that he reached the presidency.
It's my show. I disagree with the poll.
Him with the funds that allowed him to win. That was a big moment. So far as I can tell, the first major moment this idea would spread.
Who conducted this poll?
Foreign dictatorship had secretly bankrolled a French election.
I can't even see.
Way back to 2005, 2006, when Sarkozy was merely a presidential hopeful.
Je crois que le rendez-vous de 2007, c'est pas simplement un rendez-vous de changement de génération, ça doit être un rendez-vous assez profond de changement de façon de faire de la politique.
According to the charges against him, which Sarkozy has denied since the start, it was
sneaky poll
where Sarkozy's campaign really first became invested in a relationship with Muammar Gaddafi.
So there are a number of people that are tied up in this really quite complicated system of corruption. Some close confidants of Nicolas Sarkozy, some of whom have been imprisoned alongside him as part of the same trial.
I won't get overly bogged down here with names and dates, but over the last decade, there have been sordid details dug up by journalists and investigators, some of which have been contested, mind you. But just to give you a sense of things, there have been reports of early meetings between members of Sarkozy's staff and Gaddafi's brother-in-law and head of military intelligence. At one dinner, a deal to lift an arrest warrant and push for closer diplomatic and economic ties between the two countries.
Okay, we're back on the brownie thing again. So here's the I disagree. They're not supposed to be fucking chewy. They're supposed to be soupy. You're supposed to eat the brownies with a spoon. See, I don't really bake brownies. I just heat up brownie batter. They're in there like 8-9 minutes tops. You get a little crust around the side, and then like you eat your hot brownie batter. Byronic, welcome in. So I had a friend in college come over. I made her brownies, and she's like, "What the fuck? You didn't even cook these." It's the way I've always eaten brownies. You get the box of Ghirardelli and it calls for like baking them 40 minutes. I maybe let them bake 15. Wet ass brownies. I eat the brownie batter. You can't make brownies wrong. You make brownies the way you like to make brownies, and that's the right way to make brownies. No, there's no wrong about it. You just enjoy brownies the way you like having brownies. Flo, thank you for the resub.
At another meeting, handing over banking information.
I'm going to take that as you like really soupy brownies.
Much later, reports of a diary belonging to Libya's late oil minister, with entries dating back to 2007 alleging millions of euros sent to the Sarkozy camp from Libyan dignitaries. A Lebanese-French businessman would then go on record claiming to have personally delivered suitcases with millions of euros of cash.
Une valise comme ça, ça s'ouvre comme ça, ça s'ouvre et l'argent est dedans.
That businessman, by the way, became the key accuser in the case.
Have you ever tried them?
Just days before.
Soupy Brownies is a decent band name, yes.
Sarkozy has fairly consistently said he's an innocent man. He believes the allegations against him are in fact a revenge plot.
No soup for you. Undercooked brownies. That's my thing. I don't. Soupy is the word for it or whatever. I eat brownie batter raw.
On Gaddafi.
She didn't offer to let me lick the brownie
But
batter.
last month, a court in Paris...
Whoa, hype train.
French President Nicolas Sarkozy has been sentenced to 5 years.
That's how pathetic I am as a streamer right now, because I was able to get a hype train going with one person subscribing. I absolutely eat raw egg. Don't be a pussy, eat the raw egg. The fuck? Like, it's only like 1 in 10,000 has salmonella or something. Yeah, it's like a ghost hype train, which it is Halloween. You got like 420 to go to the next level of the hype train. I don't even know how it works. Trying to find like the percentage of eggs that have salmon, because it's like it's 0.37%. I am so into brownie batter. I think it is so fucking good that 0.37% chance that I could get salmonella from a raw egg is worth it. Fuck you.
Is in prison.
A Paris court found him guilty of accepting campaign funds from the late Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi.
Which brings us back to two important questions that we raised at the start of all this. Why don't we know how long he'll be behind bars?
I wouldn't want cookie dough without the egg.
Despite the guilty verdict, currently presumed innocent. Well,
it doesn't have the same texture.
But his lawyers have
It's not the same.
Early release, which French legal experts have suggested could happen.
Because I have done it. It's not the
Sarkozy has also appealed the guilty verdict, which, according to French law, snaps everything back to a presumption of innocence. It ordinarily effectively suspends the guilty verdict. So then, you might ask, why is he in prison at all? Well, the judge in this case said the facts were exceptionally serious and capable of undermining citizens' trust in public institutions, with Sarkozy having used his position to prepare an act of corruption at the highest level.
And so this is the first time that
France put an ex-president behind bars.
What is called in French an exécution provisoire, which means that the sentence will be carried.
Don't tell me how to eat my brownie batter.
Till is underway.
This is a serious moment, I think. But it's also something that I think should be a source of pride for French people, because it shows the wheels of justice working. It's not a sign that there are privileges or that anyone is above the law. This is a real sense that justice can reach out and touch even a former president.
And so that's how a former French president ends up presumed innocent, but in prison for an unknown period of time in a nearly unprecedented set of circumstances. A very influential man now locked in a very small room.
In a very small room. I mean, I have done it enough to like I should have gotten it, I guess. I'm playing the odds on it. I bring up former President Sarkozy going to prison for no reason whatsoever. Steve Bannon was on with the New York Times, or it was like a big time podcast, The Economist. The Economist.
So Trump 28. Trump is going to be president 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. And the way we finish it through Trump. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled.
Look at this man. He's not well.
This off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm really I'm trying to understand the coherence of the things you've just told me in the last few minutes. On the one hand, you've said the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through Zanny and define all those terms.
But even if you find a way to undermine you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it. And to those
Can the American people, if the American people, with the mechanisms we have, put Trump back in office, are the American people tearing up the Constitution? Would that be tearing up?
Well,
would the American people be going against the spirit of the Constitution, ma'am?
I think yes, actually, because I think what you will end up with is a populist justification for a quasi-dictatorship.
That's not true at all.
Trump's not a quasi-dictatorship.
Trump is a dictatorship. Did you just see the compromises he had to make on the big, beautiful bill? You see the compromises he has to do on everything, on accommodating Zelensky, on what President Trump. President Trump is nothing but a series of negotiations to kind of keep this thing rolling forward, where he's having trade-offs all the time.
Steve, you've just spent the last 20 minutes telling me we have to smash the other side. There's no room for debate. There's no room for compromise. We must smash them. And now you're telling me this is a negotiation. I mean, that's
no.
I guess that's why.
Is this a fake Oval Office they're in?
On his policy. First
off,
the only way President Trump wins in 2028 and continues to stay in office is by the will of the American people. Okay? And the will of the American people is what the Constitution embodies. And so I think we're going to be in good hands there. We need to finish what we started. And President Trump is the instrument, a providential instrument to finish this job.
They're talking about divine right and plenary power and all that bullshit. Don't worry. I know exactly the person who can protect us from a Trump third term.
Day 26 of the government shutdown, with the impact hitting Americans nationwide. This past Friday, thousands of federal workers missing their first full paycheck, some lining up outside of food banks to get help.
Ultimately, hunger is a nonpartisan issue, and we need both sides of the table to get back into conversations.
Many states announcing they plan to suspend SNAP food assistance benefits starting November 1st if the shutdown continues, as both parties blame the other.
This is the choice that Donald Trump has made. It's to take food away from people.
Nobody wants people not to have the food that they need, and we urge the Democrats to get the government open.
Meanwhile, in a new interview with the BBC, former Vice President Kamala Harris criticizing President Trump for building a grand ballroom at the White House during the gridlock.
Right now, we have a president in the Oval Office who is building a ballroom for his rich friends while he is depriving working people of health care.
Harris also still keeping the door open to running for president again, saying she believes the U.S. will elect a woman leader in her young grandnieces' lifetimes.
Could it be you? Possibly. I am not done. I have lived my entire career alone.
It is not going to be you.
And it's in my bones.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Harris is promoting her latest book, 107 Days, which chronicles her historic run for the White House. Meanwhile, earlier this week, longtime Trump ally Steve Bannon said there is a plan for President Trump to run for a third term in 2020.
Oh, yeah, we know.
President Trump has also repeatedly said he may run in 2028, despite the fact that such a move would violate the U.S. Constitution, which limits presidents to 2 terms. Willie?
Fucking Willie. Oh, hold on. Do you want to do it?
At the White House, Amish, thank you.
Hey, thanks for.
Oh,
don't forget you can catch.
It was a Today Show clip and not just an NBC News. So we got Al Roker at the end. I was ready for Tom Llama. You know, crazier things have happened. If Biden was to come back and be like, I'm the one who can beat him, let me run again.
Come on, man.
I don't know. I might go for it. We should just let him run the last time. He's in better shape than fucking Trump. I'll fight you on that one. All the pictures we see of Biden, he's in tip-top shape. He hasn't lost his mind the way Trump has. Trump is canceling all trade negotiations with Canada over a television ad they're playing.
Well, President Trump announced he has paused all trade negotiations with Canada over a TV ad that used President Ronald Reagan's words criticizing tariffs. As CBS's Christian Benavides reports, in Canada, they're pulling the ad so that trade talks can resume.
Trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer.
The Canadian ad features parts of a 1987 radio address by President Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs.
Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
It led Trump to abruptly declare all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. The Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, was behind the multi-million-dollar ad buy.
It's real because it was coming from the best president the country's ever seen, Ronald Reagan. So it's very effective. It's probably one of
Shut up, Doug Ford, you stupid
but
fuck.
After talks between Ford
and welcome in.
Minister Mark Carney, the ad is now being pulled from American airwaves starting Monday, allowing time for it to air during Friday's World Series game.
It's a crooked ad. I heard he's airing it. Canada, that's why I pulled everything. With Canada,
it's a crooked ad.
This trade spat comes after the U.S. hiked tariffs in August to 35% on many Canadian goods. Trump and Carney met at the White House earlier this month.
We stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready to have those discussions.
My fellow Americans.
The Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation said the ad misrepresents the late president's words. Christian Benavides.
How can it misrepresent his words? It's like the whole quote. No, the crack guy is dead. This is his brother. I think I'm right on that one. That was Tom Ford or something. Rob Ford. Caroline Levitt says the ballroom is Trump's main priority.
Go ahead. Yes.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you.
In addition to the ballroom and the Rose Garden
I'm going
patio,
into the back. Sorry. Go ahead.
In addition to the ballroom and the Rose Garden patio, is the president looking at any other renovations or significant kind of projects here at the White House?
Not to my knowledge, no. But he's a builder at heart, clearly. And so his heart and his mind is always churning about how to improve things here on the White House grounds. But at this moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority. Kristen.
He's a builder, guys. He's totally a builder. Let's see what he's building over here. Scott Bessett says it's moving at warp speed. This is the Treasury Secretary.
Questions in. The East Wing of the White House was demolished this week to make way for President Trump's plans for a ballroom, as you know. It surprised a lot of people, given that President Trump said this back in July. Take a look.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it. And
with Triple H looking at him.
Building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite place. I love it.
Why didn't the president tell the public he was going to tear down the entire East Wing, which, as you know, is part of the People's House?
Well, again, I think this was a judgment call on the president. The president is a master builder, and Kristen, I was for many years on the board of something called Classical American Homes, and I completely endorse what the president's doing here with the ballroom. And I don't know. I assume that maybe the East Wing could have been asbestos, could have been mold, could have not fit with the design. But the classical architecture firm that's doing this is a magnificent structure that's going up. That my office looks over it, and I'm watching the demolition here, and the construction that's already underway. And this is moving at warp speed, and I think it's going to be something that all Americans can be proud of. And we have a history of presidents renovating and adding to the White House campus. It started with Thomas Jefferson. I don't think anybody would argue when Thomas Jefferson they added the colonnades. It was controversial at the time.
Yeah, Mr. Secretary, and of course the question is about his revealing to the American public and saying he wouldn't have to actually tear down the building, and now that's what's happening.
We thank you for watching, and remember...
Oh, there it is. Shut up, Tom Llama.
On the NBC News app, or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Miss Lester. The National Trust is actually sounding the alarm, saying that the White House will be overwhelmed by the ballroom.
Total demolition within days. That's what two administration officials tell NBC News is now the fate of the historic East Wing of the White House to make way for President Trump's massive new ballroom.
It'll be one of the great ballrooms anywhere in the world. It's about $300 million.
That ballooning price tag up from $200 million, with the president saying he's covering the cost.
It keeps going up.
Among them, Comcast, NBC's parent company. The East Wing teardown coming despite this earlier promise.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it.
Now, as the debris pile is growing, so is the backlash.
I just can't believe that the wrecking ball is taken to this.
He came in like a wrecking ball.
America and our strength and culture.
The president noting the East Wing, home base to first ladies for decades, has seen changes over the years.
It was never thought of as being much. It was a very small building.
Now, the National Trust for Historic Preservation warning administration officials the planned 90,000 square foot ballroom will overwhelm the White House itself at 55,000 square feet as Americans watch history under renovation.
Oh, was there no Tom Llama at the end of that? I feel kind of gypped. The fuck is going on here? I'm gonna go get some brownies and some milk. I'll be right back. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked sick aesthetic.
Not high enough for this shit.
I guess I gotta thank Matt Walsh for introducing me to JustinFREAKIN.
Hey there, y'all. We're about to get stupid, locked into what that news be doing. Fu Manchu and a slick bandana. Colder than ice, smoother than Santana. Audio, video, chat, and calls. Right-wing nut jobs haunt the halls. What you wanna watch? Hey, what you think? And there's only one choice. It's JustinFREAKIN.
The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the call.
Light one up and tip one back. It's a right to be high. Let's grab a snack. It's fucking news, quit panic, attack, and play your cards right and get a titty slap. Jump in Discord, have some fun. The man will talk to everyone. Get high and try to debate. When shit pops off, chat thinks it's great. What do you think you're doing? Join the troll patrol. Wherever discourse is brewing, he gives it that southern drawl.
So let's go ahead and bring in Justin. Hey Justin, how's it going, brother?
First of all, I want to say you're poser South. I'm in Alabama. I'm the real South.
Okay, all right. So why don't you tell us what it takes to be a man?
Well, I don't know. I'm in Alabama and I'll fuck a man in a dress. Why won't you fuck a man in a dress? Are you that I didn't make these brownies. A man in a dress?
That's fantastic. So you're okay with that, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I be?
Right-wingers are morons.
Like one it and hit one back on one more clip where we hit the set an alert when that shit goes live. Social fucking support and hit subscribe. Light one up and take a hit. He does no harm, but it takes no shit. He's the last one standing when the ship is sinking. Let's take another rip for JustinFREAKIN.
Light one up, tip one back. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
Not high enough for this shit.
I did not make these brownies, so they are perfectly cake-like, done the way normal people would eat brownies, not me. Other than the frosting, which I had to put on myself. She didn't frost them. There was frosting available. And I'm like, well, fuck it. We're talking about frosting on brownies. Maduro says the U.S. is fabricating its so-called attacks on drug vessels.
Atención. Domingo. El pueblo de los Estados Unidos lo sabe. Se están inventando una nueva guerra eterna. Prometieron que más nunca se metían en una guerra. Y se están inventando una guerra que nosotros vamos a evitar. ¿Con qué? Con la movilización
No, I didn't know I was going to have to
de
translate.
América del Sur.
Una Venezuela cada día más próspera, una Venezuela cada día más unida.
He said, fuck America. That's all you need to know. Trump called them ocean drugs. He said the boats are bringing over ocean drugs. Which I thought was a hilarious. So this is from like Thursday or Friday of last week.
If you're running drug boats, you're in grave danger.
And drug usage is way down. And drug usage coming from the sea, they call it ocean drugs. A little term that they use, the ocean drugs, is very close to non-existent right now.
If you're running drug boats, you're in grave danger.
And drug usage is way down. And drug usage coming from...
Is your drug usage way down?
Drugs, little...
He thinks drug usage is way down because Elon isn't in the White House anymore. Oh! Lindsey Graham says land strikes on Venezuela absolutely possible.
We turn now to Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. He joins us from Seneca, South Carolina. Welcome back to Face the Nation. Senator,
thank you. Good morning.
On Friday, Defense Secretary Hegseth ordered the deployment of the Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford, to Latin America. President Trump was asked if he planned to ask Congress for a declaration of war. Take a listen.
I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill
the
them.
peace president.
They're going to be like dead.
You don't need an aircraft carrier to hit drug boats. Are land strikes planned?
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. I think President Trump's made a decision that Maduro, the leader of Venezuela, is an indicted drug trafficker, that it's time for him to go. That Venezuela and Colombia have been safe havens for narco-terrorists.
Who fucking indicted him?
And President Trump told me yesterday that he plans to brief members of Congress when he gets back from Asia about future potential military operations against Venezuela.
Yes, we're absolutely invading Venezuela.
Congressional briefing about a potential expanding from the sea to the land. I support that idea, but I think he has all the authority he needs. Senator Gallego on another network accused President Trump and our military of committing murder by attacking these drug boats. To our men and women in uniform, you're not murdering anybody. You're making America safer by going after narco-terrorists. You're following lawful orders. When President Bush 41,
this man is the devil.
Ortega out in Panama, Reagan went into Grenada to deal with the Cuban influence from Grenada in our backyard. He has all the authority in the world. This is not murder.
We look back on those as mistakes, you idiot.
Poisoned by narco-terrorists coming from Venezuela and Colombia.
Well, a lot there, but just to clarify, the examples you're citing also involved ground troops. You said time for Maduro to go.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot like regime
Yeah, it
change.
is.
Are you talking about troops on the ground?
I'll let the president speak to that. I'm talking about a briefing that would expand military operations potentially from the sea to the land. It is time for Maduro to go. It was time for Ortega to go. The Monroe Doctrine has been robustly applied by President Trump. So these military assets are moving forward.
It's time for Trump to go.
A country that's got blood on its hands when it comes to Americans by flooding our country with drugs from Venezuela and Colombia. So I hope Maduro would leave peacefully, but I don't think he's going to stay around much longer. I think President Trump is tired of Venezuela being used as a staging platform to poison America.
Well, it is Halloween season, and that was absolutely ghoulish. Oh my God. Okay, do you remember the guy that we saw get arrested in Portland last week? I believe he was blind. There was no reason to arrest him. Nothing in this video should constitute an arrestable offense. But he's kind of funny. By the way, this is Homeland Security actually posted this. Homeland Security called him a rioter and obstructed law enforcement. That's not what happened.
Wait. You just hit me. You just Don't you fucking tell me what to do, you fucking cunt! No! This is not your fucking property! Yeah. I'm glad you know it too. Hey, assholes! Dance on your goddamn grave! Hell yeah, I hope somebody kills you guys! If they do, we should give them the Medal of Freedom!
I mean, how is what he's saying any different than what Lindsey Graham was saying about the leaders of other countries? That's the blind guy that we saw get arrested last week.
No idea how much I would like to beat the fucking shit out of you! Why do you have to kick him through?
Let me help him.
Shut up! Don't talk! Do not
and kind of plain evil, honestly.
Yeah, that's good.
Do not block. Please block that.
So this is them saying that he's violating their orders, trespassing.
Okay, calm down. Calm down.
There's nothing in my socks, dumbass. My feet are too small. The fuck do you think I'm gonna put in there? God, you guys are fucking dumb. What? Hey, what? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me, nigger. Talk to me. Yeah, that's right. By my hands. Come on. Come on, pig.
So he did drop an M-bomb there, but okay. I'm more concerned with what ICE is doing, the federal agents, than what some private citizen has to say. He still didn't deserve to be arrested. I mean, it's not like I'm not on video saying the N-word. So, you know, I can't judge him.
We have new images tonight showing federal agents using tear gas and making several arrests in areas across Chicago's north side. This after Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino is ordered to face a federal judge next week for his use of chemical agents. NBC5's Randy Gyllenhaal has the latest from outside the Broadview Immigration Facility tonight.
Well, tonight, more protests here.
People from the South are indeed disgusting.
In neighborhoods across Chicago where ICE was spotted with cell phone video showing one agent tossing a tear gas canister in Irving Park.
Terrorizing a neighborhood. Look, the whole community is against being terrorized.
When federal agents appeared near Milwaukee and Pulaski, neighbors say families were nearby.
I run outside and I see 5 ICE agents on top of one man.
Some with whistles ran outside while others were shouting at masked agents to leave. And then this.
Look at that guy opening a tear gas to gas out people. Look at the physical abuse. Look at that.
An agent deploys tear gas, marking at least the 4th time this week that federal agents have used gas in Chicago neighborhoods. And watch here, a woman approaching a federal minivan is shoved to the ground.
Like, this is absurd. Like, something has to give.
It comes at a critical time for Homeland Security. A federal judge has ordered Operation Midway Blitz Commander Greg Bovino to appear in court next week. After previous orders limiting tear gas, Bovino was seen throwing a gas canister in Little Village this week. DHS claimed he was hit by a rock.
And then it went from there to...
You deserved it.
Individuals that were...
Fuck you, pig.
Protesting, I call it rioting.
Yeah, you would call it rioting because you're a fucking fascist.
In Broadview tonight, 100+ gathered outside the processing center for an evening protest, demanding a stop to deportations.
They're not criminals, and they're human beings deserving decent treatment and respect.
But here, local police were plenty able to handle the crowd and disperse them without using tear gas. That key federal court hearing is set for Tuesday morning. Bovino will have to appear in person. In Broadview, Randy Gyllenhaal, NBC5 News.
We've got new details about a raid on an apartment building in Chicago. I think this may be the one where they zip-tied children that happened a couple of weeks ago.
We are getting a jarring, visceral look at the reality of President Trump's cruel immigration crackdowns across the U.S. The Weekend Primetime has exclusively obtained extensive security video footage of an immigration raid at a home owned by a U.S. citizen in Chicago's wealthy...
Oh, this was just 2 days ago.
In this clip, you can see a federal agent
24th.
jump the fence of the home, targeting construction workers who are on private property. A tenant whose face we are covering for her own privacy and safety told the agent in no uncertain terms that they do not have a warrant to enter her property. In another dramatic clip, you see agents try to pull a man out of a second-story window. Watch.
Close the window, close the window, close the window. Now. Oh, get him. Yeah. You have no permission to be on my property. Hey!
The Chicago Sun-Times reports that 2 of the 4 men who were targeted at this home were arrested. It also reports agents tear-gassed neighbors on the residential block. We asked DHS which departments were involved and if warrants were filed. They responded with a statement reading in part, quote, Border Patrol agents were swarmed by agitators during enforcement operations near Lakewood Avenue in Chicago. The agitators obstructed federal law enforcement and ignored multiple warnings to disperse and continue to impede operations, including trying to deflate a vehicle's tire. Joining us now, Leo Feller, whose home you just saw in those images there. Also with us is Andrea Flores, Vice President of Immigration Policy and Campaigns at Forward.us. Leo, I want to start with you. Thank you so much for joining this. I'm sure this has been a difficult and traumatic experience. We've spoken before. You came home last night to blood all over your house. What happened? And did anyone ever show you or your tenant a warrant?
So thank you for having me on, Catherine. No, there were no warrants shown. This was a really surprising and jarring and frightening attack. The gates were locked. The federal immigration agents jumped over the gates and onto the property. The workers ran into the house. My tenant was the one who was home at the time. She is a young 20-year-old woman. She let the workers come into the back stairwell. The workers came into my unit. You can see there in the images the amount of blood on the floor. I spent most of the day cleaning up that blood. Surprising that this could happen. And I'm just appalled that in our country, federal agents can jump onto private property, jump onto a balcony of a private property, create this kind of chaos.
Leo, thank you so much for sharing this story with us. I wanted to read to you and our viewers how one of your neighbors described this to the New York Times. I wanted to get your thoughts. They say in part, we're told by the government that these guys are criminals and rapists and thugs. This guy was just working a construction job, putting siding on a house. Talk to us about who these guys you hired to fix your home were. Are they people in the people in the administration tries to make them out to be, which is paint everybody as criminals and thugs and gangsters and drug dealers?
So I hired a construction company. The construction company then hired these workers. So I didn't hire these workers directly. My understanding is, and my experience with them, is that they are wonderful people. They actually have the door codes to be able to get into my home. I see them, when they are here at 7 a.m. when they start working. I say goodbye to them at dusk when they leave, when it's too dark to continue to work. These are people who I consider friends at this point after 3-4 weeks of getting to know them. They are hardworking individuals. And I think importantly, one point in time, there was an ICE raid in the area about 2 weeks ago. And I asked one of the workers, are you okay? Do you want to go home? Maybe you guys should just stay indoors. And he told me, no, we actually have permission to be here.
Andrea, at risk of sounding a little bit like a yokel here, if something like this had happened in Mississippi and people who weren't supposed to be on my dad's property came in, he would pick up his firearm. What rights do residents?
Yeah, good question.
Lawful entry, and I'm not advocating violence in any way, shape, or form. I'm just thinking about how risky this can be on multiple levels when in certain areas of the United States, the castle doctrine does apply.
You're right. It is risky, not just for the workers who were being targeted here, but also for law enforcement themselves. This is not at all how immigration enforcement should be conducted. And there's a reason why you've never seen an administration try and do it this way before. I want to remind viewers that one of the reasons you see cars suddenly pulling up in a video like this is because they have no targeted sort of enforcement priorities in place right now. They have no guardrails. And the reason why they don't have any guardrails on where and when they do enforcement is because Trump ended those. And that was a very extreme move that ends decades and really half a century of the way immigration enforcement was conducted. So you're right, the home is one of the most constitutionally protected zones that we have. And, you have case law, it's very clear whether that is from former Justice Scalia or more recent cases that talk about even a front yard and gates that are locked, that there are procedures that a law enforcement officer has to follow because the Fourth Amendment requires it. So while I don't know all the facts of how ICE planned this operation or what kind of planning went into it. There are some really concerning things that we've seen on that video that suggest that they are not fully respecting both statute on how to conduct an immigration arrest or the Constitution.
Leo, I want to ask you, have you had the chance to speak to any of these men? How are they doing? Are they back at home? Have some of them needed to get medical care? What's happening to them and their families right now?
I spoke to the family of one of the workers who came here, and I know that the workers are going to be.
They never gave a shit about the Constitution.
For several weeks, if not longer. They got stitches, they got medical care. I know at least one was detained. And so I don't know about their whereabouts. I personally am going to donate $10,000 to these workers to help cover their medical care, to help cover the time that they're not able to work.
Good on you, dude.
I don't know if the company that I hired, the construction company, will also be able to contribute. But I'm going to do all that I can just to make sure that these workers, who, in my experience, have been really wonderful people, do really, high quality, fantastic work. They are kind, that they'll be taken care of.
This is a good dude.
The bigger consequences.
Good job, Leo. We lost a good dude about, a month ago? 2 months ago? His name was Charlie Kirk. He's a good Christian guy. He died for his beliefs. He died for free speech. We are Charlie Kirk. Do you remember that website where you could turn in your neighbor for posting about Charlie Kirk? MAGA website took money to unmask Charlie Kirk critics, and then it vanished. The Trumpy donors say the Pro-Kirk Exposure Project took tens of thousands before going dark. Yeah, the charlieskillers.com. Oh, hold on. Let me go to a browser I can read. Pro-MAGA website that urged supporters to fund a database unmasking Charlie Kirk critics took tens of thousands in crypto and then vanished, infuriating donors. This site was called Expose Charlie's Murderers. I literally submitted my own video to it because I wanted to get on their website, but like the day after, they stopped posting people's videos on their website. The site, Expose Charlie's Murderers, launched hours after the assassination on the right-wing influencer. It promised a searchable trove of names and workplaces for the largest firing operation in history. The group styled itself a non-Palantir and posted 41 entries, screenshots, posts by people who mocked or criticized Kirk before the effort cratered. I want my donation back, said one MAGA supporting ex-user. Others raged, describing the group as liars and scammers. Targets say they were flooded with threats and workplace complaints. In Oregon, a local school board chair resigned on October 7th after writing she will not mourn Kirk and later telling Drop News of the terrifying and awful harassment she received. Kirk, a key MAGA influencer, was shot dead at a Utah Valley University campus event on September 10th, sparking an outpouring of conservative grief, far-right conspiracy theories, and rage bait posts. Julie, welcome in. I don't have you in here with me.
Weird shit going on with this.
I know.
First of all, there was that one guy who was the decoy. All right.
The decoy!
Who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? He took his pants down. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombings.
All the hits.
He called in a
Shelley
bomb at another.
Welcome in. Objectively, Kikyo.
At this thing. right after, so somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. I don't know exactly what he did.
I don't think he did that. I don't remember him taking his pants down. They included claims of foreign bot amplification to right-wing figures exploiting the killing. The site targeting critics of Kirk capitalized on that outrage, boasting 63,000 submissions while publishing only a few dozen entries before its domains, registered via Namecheap and later Epic, were pulled or dropped over bogus registration data and DDoS threats. A third site registered under the name Franklin Hurd at a Spokane office building used by multiple companies also vanished. Neither the project nor its listed contacts answered drop sites' queries about where the money went. Officials have pleaded for calm as the investigation into the September 10th shooting progresses, warning against vigilante exposure campaigns against Kirk critics. A wild thing to say, given the arrest of a man by the name of Larry Buschert. Larry Buschert Jr. posted trolling memes on a Facebook thread about a vigil for Kirk, and he's been in a Tennessee jail ever since. By the time the cops showed up to arrest him for sharing a derisive meme responding to the killing of Charlie Kirk, Larry Buschert Jr. had posted on Facebook more than 100 times on Sunday alone. It was past 11 p.m. on September 21st, and Buschert, a 61-year-old, was still up with his wife in their home in Lexington, Tennessee, a small city halfway between Nashville and Memphis. It had been a normal weekend. On Saturday, they went to see a community theater performance of Arsenic and Old Lace. The next day, they moved furniture to prepare for a new carpet delivery. And as he did almost every day, Buschert spent hours on his phone posting on Facebook a torrent of liberal memes. Born and raised in West Tennessee, Buschert worked as a police officer and a sheriff's deputy for 24 years, then spent another 9 with the Tennessee Department of Corrections before retiring from law enforcement last year. His politics made him an outlier among his neighbors. Like many people, he reserved his most strident opinions for the internet. On Facebook, Buschert slammed President Donald Trump and his followers, whom he likened to a cult. He quarreled with vaccine skeptics and fought with election deniers. As things took a darker turn during Trump's second term, Buschert posted memes decrying the president's increasingly authoritarian moves. After Kirk's killing on September 10th, Buschert posted furiously, repeatedly, about why the right-wing activists did not deserve to be lionized, which, fair enough, and warning about the escalating assault on free speech. His posts were not limited to his own feed. That Saturday morning, in a Facebook group called What's Happening in Perry County, Buschert spotted a thread about an upcoming candlelight vigil honoring Kirk in the county seat of Linden, a small town some 45 minutes away. He fired off a rapid series of trollish memes. One showed a scene from The Sopranos. Tony, Charlie Kirk died. Carmelo Soprano says, "Who gives a shit?" Tony replies. Another quoted Kash Patel's press conference after Kirk's murder, where he said, "I'll see you at Valhalla," depicting the FBI director in a Viking costume and holding a rubber chicken. The most vulgar meme appeared to capture the moment Kirk was shot, accompanied by the words, "Release the Epstein files." But it was a more innocuous post that would soon send Buschert's life spiraling out of control. It was an image he had previously posted to his own feed to little response. A photo of Trump alongside a quote, "We have to get over it." The meme, which has been circulating for more than a year, drew from remarks Trump made after a January 2024 school shooting in Perry, Iowa. Beneath the quote was a line providing context: Donald Trump on the Perry High School mass shooting one day after. Above the image were the words, "Seems relevant today." If Bushert shared the post to taunt those mourning Kirk, the reactions on the forum remained relatively mild. "Geez, Larry, take a stress pill or something," one man commented. "Mow the lawn, get off the computer." A simple, concise statement like "I hate Charlie" would be sufficient. Some of Bushert's posts were received more positively. A meme arguing that billionaires fund the class war, Charlie Kirk sold it as a race war, got several likes. The Trump meme, meanwhile, was ignored. By Sunday evening, however, the posts had gotten the attention of Perry County Sheriff Nick Weems. An avid Facebook user himself, Weems had shared the information about the Kirk vigil on his own page a few days earlier. He had also posted his own emotional response to the news of Kirk's murder in September, warning ominously about the evil in our midst. "Evil could be your neighbor," he wrote. "Evil could be standing right beside you in the grocery store. It could be your own family member and you never even know it." Weems contacted his investigator just under an hour later in Lexington. Bushert wrote a 2-line post on Facebook. "Received a visit from Lexington PD regarding my posted memes on what's happening in Perry County," he wrote. The police had come at the behest of Perry County, but did not elaborate. If he was concerned Bushert didn't show it, he went back to posting at 9:48 p.m. Bushert shared a meme from a page called Blue Wave 2026 featuring an unhinged-looking Roseanne Barr. Many MAGA are claiming that Obama used the pressure of his office and the FCC to get Roseanne canceled just like Trump did Kimmel, it read. Except Obama wasn't president in 2018. Care to guess who was? I mean, it would be his last post that night. At 11:15 p.m., police knocked on his door again. This time there were 4 officers, one of whom was holding a warrant for his arrest, which had been sent from Perry County. Body camera footage obtained by The Intercept shows police following Bushert inside his house and waiting while he slips on his shoes. Then they handcuff him on his front porch and lead him away. Arriving at the local jail, the officers with the warrant unfolded the piece of paper. Just to clarify, this is what they charged you with. Okay, here's the video.
And just to clarify, this is what they charged me with. Threatening mass violence at a school.
At a school?
It's referring to a school. I have no idea. That's what they've called us for, and I ain't got a clue.
I played on Facebook. That's where I know what I know you don't give it.
I ain't got a clue. I just had to do what I had to do. I'm not saying you did or didn't do anything.
No, I did do, but I didn't make it a crime.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you did or did not.
He has been locked up for a month.
That's not illegal.
And he was a cop. Holy shit, that motherfucker was a cop in law enforcement for like 30 years. For a meme. Meanwhile, Candace Owens out here going full-blown conspiracy nut. Holy shit.
Just really needed to just take a breather and really process everything that happened with Charlie and what it kind of means in terms of where we are. And I think it is a circumstance where we just know. We just know that he was truly betrayed in one of the most egregious ways that I think I've ever seen. It has made me lose faith in politics. It has made me fully lose faith in Trump. And my heart aches for the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics. And they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them? Why is that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, oh, Martin Luther King, what about this holiday? What about this boulevard? Anyways, let me knock it off. Like, they're going to give Charlie Kirk a boulevard. They already did. They did in Israel. They gave him freaking boulevard. It's like, as soon as they give you a boulevard and a holiday, they definitely killed you. Okay, there's no question. They killed you. There's no way. That's like their signature thing. It's like that's what they do. It's the Fed signature. It's how they sign off after they murder you. So like holiday and a boulevard. And it's never on a nice side of town either. Like Charlie Kirk Boulevard is not going to be a nice side of town. Anyways, I will be back on the 27th, you guys. Thank you guys for all the support throughout these couple of weeks, these last really kind of 6 weeks since Charlie died. And we will see you guys then.
So she's back tomorrow. What's she gonna say about it then? She keeps going nuts. She shared out text messages between her and Charlie, which it seemed like she was really close to Charlie Kirk. And this is Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk bragging about Nicki Minaj in 2018. Apparently Charlie Kirk was out here listening to Kanye West's Monster and thought Nicki Minaj's verse was she's not the best. That song is really good. She is definitely not the best part of that song, but Charlie Kirk was apparently really into it. Sasquatch, Godzilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, Goblin, Ghoul, a zombie with no conscience. Yeah, this is him sharing the Charlie's AirPods, listening to Kanye West. Let's do a little crime news and get the fuck out of here. Do Halloween specials on Kick and Twitch. They apparently caught at least one of the suspects in the Louvre jewel heist.
Arrests have been made in the brazen jury heist at the Louvre Museum, just as one suspect was about to fly out of France, according to a Paris prosecutor on Sunday. A Parisian newspaper which first broke the story.
He said prosecutor, didn't he? I thought he said prostitute there for a second.
About to fly out of France, according to a Paris prosecutor on Sunday. A Parisian newspaper which
Paris prostituter
reported that 2 men in their 30s, already known to French police, were detained on Saturday evening. Prosecutor Laure Bicot did not say how many people were arrested or give any more details about them, adding that it was, quote, too early to provide any specific details. On October 19th, 4 hooded thieves escaped the Louvre with 8 precious pieces worth an estimated $102 million, exposing security lapses at the world's most visited museum. They broke in using a crane to smash an upstairs window during opening hours and escaped on motorbikes. The stolen treasures included a tiara and an earring from the jewelry of Queen Marie Amélie and Queen Hortense from the early 19th century. There was no indication on Sunday that any of France's stolen crown jewels had been recovered. News of the robbery reverberated around the world, prompting soul-searching in France over what some regarded as a national humiliation.
Soul-searching. Quesadilla, Joey, welcome in, friends. Anybody else sneak in here on me? Unfortunately, it's a day that ends in Y in America, so you know what that means. First, a mass shooting at a college campus in Lincoln, Pennsylvania.
The reporter are the Kansas. He's calling.
Breaking news at 8 o'clock from Chester County, where 1 person is dead today and 6 others are hurt following a shooting at Lincoln University's homecoming celebration. Today is Sunday, October 26th. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jan Carabeo. Meteorologist Grant Gilmore will join us with your full forecast in just a
Camilo Cabello with the news
We
here.
are continuing to follow this breaking
Oh, Julie, did you pick a bandana color? And thank you for the resub.
That at least 1 person is dead and 6 others are injured after that shooting shooting last night at the school. So let's get right to CBS News Philadelphia reporter Ray Strickland. He has been live there in Chester County all morning long. He is tracking the very latest on this investigation. Ray, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jan. Well, right now I can tell you law enforcement officials are reviewing all of the evidence that they have, hoping to piece together a timeline on what exactly led up to this shooting. At this hour, there's still no word on a motive for the shooting, but investigators say they are determined to get to the bottom of what happened. Now, let's get to some video from last night showing an active scene here at Lincoln University not long after the shooting happened, which police say started just after 9 p.m. near the school's football field. A number of people were gathered in the area for the school's tailgate and Yard Fest as part of the school's homecoming. But of course, that celebratory event quickly turned into a chaotic scene when someone opened fire, sending people running for their lives. At least one person was killed. And
not even save it a homecoming in
one
America.
person was detained in connection to this incident, and police are now investigating the possibility that there could have been more than one shooter. Law enforcement officials say they won't rest until everyone involved is held accountable.
The chaotic scene, and people fled in every direction. We're operating as if this is not an incident where someone came in with the design to inflict mass damage on a college campus.
This was to be a joyous occasion, homecoming, when individuals come back and they give back to their alma mater and they live the good memories of their times at Lincoln University, which has helped them propel into life. And this was interrupted by gunfire.
And Governor Josh Shapiro released a statement in response to this incident saying that the university is in his thoughts and prayers and that law enforcement.
Oh, yeah, that's going to help.
Support, Jan. I can also tell you that the FBI is also now assisting detectives in this investigation. Reporting live here in Lincoln University, Ray Strickland, CBS News, Philadelphia.
A lot more to come, Ray. Thanks so much for that update. And stay with CBS News Philadelphia as we continue to follow the latest updates on this shooting. When we're not on air, you can always find it.
Sorry, we can't. We have another shooting we have to move on to. That was at a homecoming. This one occurred at a Halloween party in... Fuck if I know. Where the hell did this happen at? Roberson County. Okay, this is North Carolina. Halloween party in North Carolina.
Right now at 6, we are learning new details about a deadly mass shooting in Robinson County. Deputies say 2 people, including a 16-year-old boy, are dead after gunshots rang out at a Halloween party. You are watching Eyewitness News at 6 tonight. Good evening. I'm Dewan Hogard. Bianca has the night off tonight. Now, that shooting happening just overnight outside of the Maxton area, which is southeast of Fayetteville. We know 16-year-old Nehemiah Locklear and 49-year-old Jesse Locklear Jr. were both shot and killed. The Robinson County Sheriff's Office says they received calls after 1 o'clock this morning about a shooting on Dixon Drive. And when deputies arrived, they found 2 victims dead. Investigators say the shooting happened during a large Halloween party with more than 300 people in attendance. Officials say no arrests have been made. However, there are persons of interest in this case.
Some are cooperating, some are not cooperating, which is sadly common for a situation like this where you have this many people here. It's unfortunate that because we've had another incident here in the county a year or 2 ago. We just had a similar scenario, over 150 people there. No one wanted to talk, and it's still an unsolved murder today.
Authorities say several other victims are still in the hospital being treated for their injuries. One person is in critical condition. They had to be airlifted to UNC Chapel Hill. Several local and federal agencies, including the ATF, are now assisting with that investigation.
What the fuck is the ATF gonna do? They're never any use. Do you guys remember the woman I had a crush on? I know that doesn't narrow it down. She murdered her kids and her husband. Oh shit, what? Maybe we'll get to that here in a second. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
So I saw your ad. Very impressive. So how are we going to do this?
My ad for what? Was I on the wall of the bathroom stall?
But this is my first time doing something like this. Believe me, I swear.
It's not my first time. I'm an old pro.
Should I give you the money first? Because I have a lot of it. Bigly.
Is this supposed to be Trump? Because you really suck.
Also, can you try not to tell anyone about this? It's quite embarrassing.
What's embarrassing?
Do you mind if I wear my gloves? I don't want anyone to recognize me by my huge hands. And believe me, they are huge.
I'm sure they're huge.
Hold on one moment.
Okay.
I think the call is wiretapped. Big problem.
Who's listening in on us, Trumpy boy?
I gotta go.
Okay, bye.
You've been pranked by prankhotline.com.
There's an ad at the end. Prankhotline.com. That's a real thing. I hope that I'm on somebody else's show and they thought they were pranking me. That would be awesome. If you are watching this on somebody else's stream, I'm JustinFREAKIN. Come find out what that news be doing over here on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, DLive. I hope you didn't pay for that. No. Anyway, back to this murderer that I have a crush on. She killed her husband. She killed her kids. She's been ordered to pay restitution. Apparently had a court appearance at the end of last week. Snapped at the judge.
CR 2021-001704 and CR 2022-001242.
Oh, her name is Lori Val Daybell.
Is Miss Daybell on? Is that the Joab Fedorf?
Get her on, I'll get her off.
Mr. Lund, could I have you turn your camera off just to not be a distraction? All right, I called the case. Let's have the state announce.
Trina K. on behalf.
Hey, Lori.
And defendant.
Lori Daybell for the defense.
All right, I can hear everyone fine. This is the time set for restitution hearing. Have there been any agreements?
Your Honor, I am not sure. I was going to check with Ms. Daybell if she would stipulate to anything. I do have one correction in the documents on bait stamp 101133. What we've learned is that the gas receipts that were provided are not all of the gas receipts, and so that's why we had done the mileage, but we forgot to remove the gas receipts themselves. So we should actually remove $348.98, which would make the total restitution request $8,600.54.
Okay, I'll ask the defendant, are you stipulating to any restitution?
Your Honor, on Wednesday night, I did receive those Bates numbers that were supposed to be given to me from my advisory council. They mailed them to me. I just got them. I was able to review those. Those ended at Bates number 101161. And yesterday,
8,000 something, wasn't it?
Advisory council that the state sent over one more document on Tuesday by email to my advisory council, and I have not seen that document. It's Bates number 101162. It is my understanding, since I talked to my advisory council yesterday, that that document is a document. They kind of explained what it was to me. And so my understanding is
this is a convicted murderer who is defending herself in court.
Although I'm aware that counseling costs can be included in restitution, this
She's already been found guilty multiple times.
An Excel spreadsheet totaling $3,000.
And I find her very attractive.
Counseling. There are no invoices from doctors or insurance companies to my knowledge. So the document in and of itself seems to be insufficient. I haven't actually seen it. However, based on how my trials were conducted, since experience tells me that regardless of what I say or what anybody else says, you're going to order it, I am willing to stipulate today. It is my understanding that I have already been ordered to pay over $534.
But now, come on, it's apparently going to get testy between the two of them.
$1,000 in fees, in fines, surcharges, and court fees. So you can add Miss Woodcock's total of $12,096.97 of restitution to my tab.
And Your Honor, with that correction, it would actually be $11,747.99.
Hold on. 11.
Add it to her tab.
$47.99.
All right. Ms. Daybell, you're stipulating to pay restitution to Kay Woodcock in the amount of $11,747.99. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Did any drugs, alcohol, or medication in the last 24 hours that would affect your ability to make this decision?
Have I been on any drugs, Your Honor? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking, have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand or make this decision today?
You want any drugs?
You're aware that I am in prison? I have no access to any of those things. So no, the answer is no, I have not.
Thank you for answering the question. Has anyone promised you anything in exchange for your agreement to pay this restitution?
No.
Has anyone forced you?
Defended herself. She's already been convicted.
To pay this restitution.
Only my trials, Your Honor, coerced me.
The court finds that your agreement is knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily made. It's ordered that you pay $11,747.99 in restitution to Kay Woodcock. The restitution would take priority over any other fines and fees that have been imposed. And it's ordered that that restitution be paid out at the maximum rate allowable out of any prison account. Ms. Kay, do you anticipate any other restitution requests?
Your Honor, we are still awaiting restitution requests from Brandon Boudreau. I know that he's been busy with work and he hasn't got all of those documents together. When I get those, I will submit them to advisory council and to Ms. Daybell's investigator, who seems to be able to get that to her much easier. And just for the record, Ms. Woodcock is still ongoing counseling, so there could be subsequent requests.
Well, the court retains jurisdiction over the matter of restitution for the period that the defendant is serving a sentence. So I'm not setting any further hearings at this time. We'll wait and see if any requests for hearing come in. All right, thank you. We'll be at recess.
Thank you.
That wasn't too fun. I just liked hearing from her. This dude says he was O.J. Simpson's bodyguard and he has shocking new revelations. Are you ready? Explosive new claims.
Everything that happened about the murders he told me. And yes, that conversation is recorded. Well, new tonight, O.J. Simpson's former bodyguard still insists that he has a thumb drive with an audio recording of the football star confessing to the infamous 1994 murders. The admitted former gang member first made that allegation last year when he claimed that Bloomington police in Minnesota had that thumb drive. But investigators here in Minnesota say they never found the recording. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni watched the news conference earlier today. Mike, the former bodyguard, claims he had that recording with him today as well. So this is a confusing story. Explain to us what...
Can we hear it?
But Kelsey, he would not play it, citing an ongoing federal drug investigation. Iracovelli, the man you saw there, went in a bunch of different directions during the 35-minute news conference in his attorney's office. He recalled his life as a gang member and cocaine dealer. He also says he suffers from PTSD in part because he claims Simpson told him how he committed the murders. This all started back in 2022. That's when Bloomington police took this backpack as evidence as part of an assault investigation involving Avelli. Last year, Avelli claimed one of the 6 thumb drives in that backpack contained an audio recording of Simpson confessing to the murders. But investigators say they never found it. Avelli claimed to have that recording on hand today, but refused to play it at this afternoon's news conference in Los Angeles. Here's an exchange between Avelli and a reporter over that recording.
Is that the conversation that you recorded of O.J. Simpson?
I got it right here, but that's one that due to... Yeah, that's not content we're releasing.
You mean the supposed confession?
You got it right here.
But you're not going to release it because...
Due to obstruction of justice and ongoing investigation.
He was vague about that investigation that he claims is happening at the federal level. 30 years ago this month, a Los Angeles jury acquitted Simpson of the murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman. But a civil jury later found him liable for their deaths. Simpson maintained his innocence until his death last year at 76. Bloomington police...
Yeah, sure he did.
It was not aware of that news conference and had no comment. In the newsroom tonight, Mike Manzoni, Fox 9.
All right, thank you, Mike.
I think he did it. We know for a fact this dude did it. He was the driver of a crash that we saw last week. JustinFREAKIN Singh. If you will remember back to, I think it was Wednesday night, we watched the video. A truck just completely annihilated the SUV that was in front of it. It was a wild video to watch.
Details about the undocumented driver charged in connection to that deadly chain reaction crash in Ontario.
Well, today the driver made his first appearance before a judge, pleading not guilty. And Eyewitness News reporter Leticia Juanes is live with details and how he was able to legally get a commercial driver's license. Leticia.
Well, David, I can tell you this. Singh was able to obtain his commercial driver's license through both state and federal processes that were in place at the time for him to do so. Those processes, though, changed on a federal level back on September 26th, just about a month ago. And it was then that he was able to obtain a credible, valid driver's license. But now he stands accused, of course, of manslaughter while driving intoxicated. Shackled and wearing an orange jail jumpsuit, 21-year-old JustinFREAKIN Singh appeared in a Rancho Cucamonga courtroom to face charges of vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated and driving under the influence causing injury. Dashcam video shows the horrifying moment. Investigators say Singh, behind the wheel of a Freightliner truck, plowed through several stopped cars, killing 3 people. In court, Singh pled not guilty through his public defender with an interpreter by his side. Now federal officials say this tragedy never should have happened. The Department of Transportation released what it is calling a, quote, bombshell report, accusing California of violating federal law by allowing Singh to continue driving when he should have been disqualified. The report says that the state failed to enforce an emergency rule issued in September, one that tightened license requirements for all non-U.S. citizens. In June, California issued Singh, who is an asylum seeker, a restricted non-domicile commercial driver's license with a K restriction limiting driving to in-state. Then in September, the federal government paused all issuances of non-domicile CDLs. In October, Singh turned 21, and his K restriction was removed, which DOT officials say if California had followed the new rule, Singh's license would have been denied because of his status as an asylum seeker. Governor Gavin Newsom's office pushing back on those claims in a statement saying the federal government approved and renewed this individual's federal employment authorization multiple times, which allowed him to obtain a commercial driver's license in accordance with federal law. According to the California State Department of Transportation, Singh was issued a federal work permit authorized until the year 2030. But a mere 4 months after receiving his CDL to operate a semi, Singh could be facing years behind bars.
Idiot.
Now the Department of Transportation is threatening to withhold nearly $40 million in funding for California if the state does not start complying with some of those new rules that have been put in place since September. Meanwhile, Singh will be back in court here on November 4th. Reporting in Rancho Cucamonga, Leticia Juarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Rancho Cucamonga is fun to say. Rancho Cucamonga. Rancho Cucamonga. Rancho Cucamonga. LAPD officers opened fire on a man, but turns out he had a replica gun.
Drop it! Drop what you have! Toward the officers that are posted underneath. Drop it! Something with his hand. Back toward the officers.
New at 11, video of officers opening fire on a man armed with what appeared to be a gun and a glass bottle in North Hills. We paused that video at the moment of the shooting. Police were called to Orion and Parthenia streets after witnesses reported him. At one point, police say the man pointed his gun at officers. Police say they opened fire after the man did not obey their commands. The man, identified as 50-year-old Gustavo Ramirez, later died. Investigators later found out the gun was a replica. The incident is still under investigation.
Well, this is America. A skateboarding event in California apparently turned chaotic. Yeah, he was murdered by the cops. This looks like a good time to me. They're fucking with a Waymo car. Fuck that Waymo car.
Hey, they got a Waymo, bro. Hey, why y'all getting a Waymo? Hey, what the? Get out the Waymo! Get out the Waymo! Oh, that's crazy, bro.
I am so glad everybody takes their frustrations out on Waymo cars. I hate them so fucking much.
What the?
They are a blight on society.
Blight on what? Super embarrassed to blow up, dude.
Get out the Waymo. Oh, I love this dude. He's gonna do a trick off of it.
You heard what he said. The riot cops are coming in. If you don't like rubber bullets and batons, go home, baby. What's the
The riot police are coming in. If you don't like rubber bullets and batons, go home.
up over there.
Go Riders. Now, for real, the riot cops are going to come in with the batons, if that's what you like. Stick around.
It's always a fucking Melissa. Melissa's always a fucking bitch. I've never met a Melissa I liked. Jamaica is bracing for the impact of Hurricane Melissa.
Well, 10's Aaron Maven continues our live team coverage.
He's live in Montego Bay, Jamaica, with what conditions are looking like right now. Aaron.
Well, we've been experiencing Melissa's outer bands throughout the day, and that has included some heavy rainfall at times. Right now, we do have a breeze, but we are in a lull. We actually have a little bit of sunshine at moments as well.
He's got some pretty eyes.
Are still urging people on this island to get ready for a direct hit. Across Jamaica, time is running out. Hurricane Melissa is barreling toward the island. The nation is bracing for impact.
Still not time for panic. It is time to complete your preparations.
Sunday morning, people rushing to catch flights before the Montego Bay airport shut down.
We got to go home in case something really gets worse and worse and worse.
Crews are cutting trees before the hurricane's most dangerous winds move in. Monday night and Tuesday morning, fishing communities have pulled boats onto land. In Kingston, workers are stacking sandbags, preparing for record rain. Jamaican leaders are most concerned for low-lying, flood-prone areas. The water in this gully is really low right now, but leaders fear during Melissa it will rapidly rise, leading to flooding in portions of Montego Bay.
At this moment, we are free of flood.
Simon Watson is part of a team clearing drains and trouble spots.
5 days of rain, it's not good.
The storm has caused deadly floods and landslides in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Jamaican leaders are pleading with people to heed the warnings now.
It is going to be difficult for us to say to our first responders, go out and risk your lives now for someone who refused when it was conducive for them.
Resources like gas are running low in some areas of the country. Leaders are preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
Every single Jamaican has a part to play between now, during, and after.
And the government is being really strategic as they get ready for some power outages. As we've mentioned before, they have more than 50 generators on standby, and the goal is to actually deploy them after the storm passes. They hope to have 80% of power restored on this island at least 72 hours after the all clear. That is a big operation, but they are determined to make it happen. Guys, we had a really fascinating conversation with the Deputy Prime Minister of Jamaica outside of the Operations Center here in Montego Bay. We are going to share that one-on-one interview with you coming up at 6 o'clock. And in that conversation,
we ain't going to be watching it.
Hear his fear.
You could have hit us with a soundbite there. They're preparing for Hurricane Melissa. Many states in the United States are preparing for cold weather. A winter storm warning issued as 18 inches of snow is set to hit the United States. The National Weather Service has issued heavy snowfall warnings across parts of several western states from today through to Monday, with some areas of Wyoming expected to get up to 18 inches of snow and wind gusts of 60 miles per hour. The heavy snowfall is likely to affect roads, particularly bridges, overpasses, and mountain roads, which are expected to become slippery and dangerous. The NWS has warned drivers to use extra caution if they must travel, drive slowly, and keep a flashlight, food, and water in their vehicles in case of emergencies. I can't believe we're under winter weather warnings It was just summer. It was just summer. Crix, Curiouser and I watched Dusk Till Dawn last night. We sat down, we were flipping through the movies, and that was the one that she wanted to watch. And I was like, okay, I haven't seen it in like 20 years. I can go for that. I can't believe winter weather. It was fucking cold. Wait a minute, there's a new one? The one with George Clooney and Harvey Keitel and Juliette Lewis. She was watching the Scary Movie earlier. She had it on while she was making dinner. I am disappointed in all of you. You fuckers bullied Nelly Furtado, and she says she's not gonna perform live anymore because you fat shamed her. Nelly Furtado is quitting performing for the foreseeable future. The promiscuous singer, 46, she sings a song called Promiscuous. It sounds like the New York Post is calling her a promiscuous singer, which I ain't gonna slut shame. She announced her decision in an Instagram post on Friday while celebrating the 25th anniversary of the release of her debut single, or her debut album, Whoa Nelly. 25 years ago today, my first album, Whoa Nelly, was released. Look at them hips. That's what, when we watched her a few weeks ago for Live Music Monday, one, it seemed more popular with the chat than some of the other acts we've watched. But two, she looked amazing, and I was like, oh man, those hips. 25 years later, my music has reached a whole new generation of fans, and I couldn't be happier about that. To have so many people rediscovering my music has been surreal and joyful. It's been so fun embracing this opportunity. All this aside, I've decided to step away from performances for the foreseeable future and pursue some other creative and personal endeavors that I feel would better suit the next phase of my life. God damn. I've enjoyed my career immensely, and I still love writing music, so I've always seen it as a hobby I was lucky enough to make into a career. Love it. I deeply thank all of those who have worked so... I really like Nelly Furtado. To all those who have worked so hard to help me make my pop dreams come true on a creative and organizational level, I thank all my brilliant collaborators and loyal champions. Didn't really say because she was getting fat shamed. I guess that was just implied. Alien, welcome in. She looks fucking amazing. She might just be tired. I saw several headlines implied that she had been fat shamed though, and I can't imagine. Like, she's a mommy, and she definitely has that mom bod. I discovered a new channel today, and this woman is awesome. This is Trick or Treat Possum Style.
Well, hello, and happy incipient Samhain, or All Hallows Eve, or Halloween. It's the time when the veil between the worlds is the thinnest. This is the time that we honor our departed ancestors or personal heroes or sheroes. It's also the time that we dress up and threaten our neighbors. Trick or treat. Now, this year, Potato...
I just discovered her today. She's amazing.
Isn't he fetching? Passion fruit has...
M.E. Pearl.
We're thinking of a court jester. That's kind of cute.
M.E. Pearl.
Or maybe, let's see, maybe a floozy. Or,
I put her in the chat.
a member of a mariachi band. That's pretty cute. Okay. Or, we have so many options. You could be a scholar or a fashionista. That's my favorite, but fashionistas are the most difficult to maintain. Now,
no, it was recorded like this week. That's the beauty of it.
their favorite treat is fillet of a fenny snake. In a cauldron, boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog. Wool of
Just popped up in my recommendations.
dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting. Lizard.
Now listen. Not only does she have cute possums that are dressed up, here in a moment she's going to tell us a factoid. You're going to learn something about the drug ecstasy, and then she's going to like call out somebody for doing too much ecstasy. It's fucking hilarious. This woman is awesome.
And oh, let's wing like a hell broth. Boil and bubble. Or, if you prefer, you can simply give it a grape. You know, the possum's favorite trick? It's to poop on the stoop. Oh, aren't they just cut-ups, though?
Poop on the stoop.
What? You know...
And she's apparently got an elephant she talks to.
Acting out a lot lately. Where is the ecstasy when you need it? Did you know that ecstasy was developed as a tranquilizer for elephants? So for those of you still using it, and I mean you, Douglas Burmeister, think about it. Okay, all right. Yes, all right. As we all know by now, the vast majority of possums...
She said, where's the ecstasy? I would say it's right here.
If you see one there, leave it there. If you come across an ill-injured...
I'm pretty sure it's new, Crix.
Contact a professional wildlife rehabilitator immediately. If after all this you're still left with a possum or two, well, dress them up, exploit them. Let them earn their keep. What? Oh, no.
I can state that she posted it at least 11 days ago. It was posted. Now, when was it filmed? Who fucking knows?
Mr. Elephant, why are you so mad at me? You know I am a star.
YouTube people, podcast people, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol, live. Twitch people.